Hey guys, so I'm gonna walk you through today how to make some charts on Google Sheets for our masting pre and post blight activity. So the first chart, and we're gonna make 3 different charts. The first chart is going to have your pre-blight data, which is the first data table, and it's going to have information from your post-blight, which is down here. This is your post-blight data. So basically, this data is the 10 years before the chestnut blight occurred, where you had the fungus imported and then wipe out the chestnut trees. So this is data from before that happened, and then this is data from after that happening. And specifically, this data is not number of trees, it's the estimated mast production. So it has to do with how many nuts there are. Okay, so the first table, what we are going to do once you get your pre-blight totals in, you guys will see, you won't see the data here. So the very first thing you have to do is get data for your pre and post blight totals. So the way you can do this is by highlighting these cells for the chestnut all the way over to red oak and clicking on the sum function, which is up here. Click on sum, and it just will input the right formula, and you just press enter, and that's the sum of all of these numbers. And then once you have it for one row, you can just take that and drag it down. Notice how it only worked when, and I'm gonna delete that and show you again. When you highlight the cell, you have to be in the bottom right-hand corner and then drag that down. You'll see the plus symbol that I see currently. And so now when I look at the data in this bottom cell, it's the sum of these numbers in this row, so I know I did it correctly. And then I'm going to do the same thing for the post-blight data. Again, you just highlight the cells and click sum, and then find the little plus symbol in the bottom corner and drag down. Okay, so now we have our total pre-blight mast data, and we have our total post-blight data. What I want to do, because the first chart is to have both your pre and post-blight totals on the same chart. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just take my data from here, and I'm going to press Control Copy. And I'm actually going to paste the data right next to the pre-blight total right here. But you have to paste special. So in order to do that, I right-clicked. When you right-click, this will pop up. You're going to go paste special and then paste values only. Okay. So to make our first chart, now that we have our data everywhere we want, I just need the pre and post blight data to be next to each other for this first chart. And then I'm going to get rid of this or just ignore it. So for the first chart, you're going to highlight 3 different columns. You are going to highlight the year column and then hold the control key and highlight the pre and post blight total columns. Again, holding the control key. Then you're going to go to insert and then chart. And so here you have your first chart formed. I'm just going to move the chart over to the side so it's not in our way. And I'm going to make it smaller. So this is our first chart, and when you click on it, double click on it, then you'll see the chart editor pop up in the side. And so for this first chart, we want to have the title be mass totals pre and post blight. So I'm just gonna go ahead and click right here and change it to that title, mass totals pre and post blight. It shows you that the blue data is your pre-blight total and the red data is your post-blight total. So you'll still see that there are still nuts dropping even after the chestnut blight. Okay, so this is the completed first chart. You could title this left axis if you wanted, because we have years on the x-axis, and on the y-axis, this is the total, the hard mass production. That's your number of nuts. So you could go and label the vertical axis your massed production, and then your chart will make more sense. Okay, so that's your first chart. Your second chart, it says select the, this is, we're just doing pre-blight data in the second chart. So we're gonna go in and highlight the year column, and then we're gonna hold the control key and highlight the chestnut, white, and chestnut oak. Let's see, chestnut, white, oak, chestnut oak, and the last one, it says red oak also. So we're just highlighting those columns and then pressing again insert and then chart. So now we have a new chart, and this chart is the data that of the cells we just highlighted. So it's the chestnut, the white oak, the chestnut oak, and the red oak, and they're all color coordinated. And so for this, it says we want a smooth line chart. So to change it to be a smooth line chart, you're going to go to the chart editor in the right corner, go to chart style, and click on smooth. So now it's a smooth line chart. And then the next thing it says is it wants us to title it. So I'm going to double click on the title and change it to pre-blight masting. Pre-blight masting. Again, it doesn't say to edit the y-axis, but really we should have a title on the y-axis. So we're going to go to the vertical axis title and title it mass production again. So this is our completed second chart. We still have our first chart there. Lastly, our third chart is going to be from the post-blight data. So here's our post-blight data down here. And again, we're going to select the same columns that we just selected for our previous graph. So chestnut, white oak, chestnut oak, and then red oak. And we're going to do the same thing, insert, chart, and now we're going to again make it a smooth line chart. So customize, chart type is right here. From line, you're going to click on smooth line chart. And then I am going to again change the title to, this one is post blight masting data. Masting, just post blight masting. So that's our chart title. But again, I want to give this chart a y-axis title, and we're just going to say, again, it's mass production. So here we have our pre-blight masked chart, and I'm just going to move it right next to it so I can easily compare the difference between our pre-blight and our post-blight data. So again, pre-blight is just before the fungus came and took out our oaks, and the post-blight is after the fungus came and took out our oaks. One thing to notice is that because these charts were automatically created, the y-axis is not the same on both of them. So this one makes it out of 400, and this one makes it out of 800. To keep it consistent so that it's easier to read and compare the two, we're going to change this to make it out of 800 also. So once I double click on the numbers here, the customize came up. I'm going to make a maximum value of 800. So now you can actually read the two different charts and compare the data. And you'll see the same nut is in the same color. So chestnut is still blue, white oak is red, chestnut oak is orange, and red oak is green. And you can see clearly that there is a difference in the data from pre-blight to post-blight masting.